We'll see.
Yeah, probably. Anyways, we are. What are we on? Man, I'm always horrible with openings.
36.
36. Thank you very much. I believe it was Lewis handling the crap. Oh, maybe I should actually be a decent person, Jay. Welcome to the stream. If you come to view, episode 36 of Phantoms of the Past, and Lewis will be handling today's recap.
Hell yeah. And because we kind of hopped all over the place last session, I'm just going to be doing Lewis with omniscient view, so he kind of just knows everything. All right. Last time on Shadows of the Past, we decided to rest up a little bit after dealing with the Hollow King, and after meeting up, I decided to head down to the Treasury and have a word with Godbrand, in particular about the name of the City of Tears. It was named that after the outcasts that gathered there under the previous king's rule, a beacon of hope forgotten and abandoned as the Hollow King manipulated everyone's memories, and they all seemingly disappeared. Thankfully, Godbrand had managed to use most of their power to send the place into stasis, away from the eyes of everyone until someone could claim Icarus's will, the one that I ended up claiming. Since we were pretty beat up after the fight, we decided to spend most of the day just resting up. I mostly trained, spent some time with Godbrand regarding the history of the city. Afterwards, I met up with Sora to go get a painting, a portrait made. Something as a way to remember things by, I suppose. Meanwhile, after we'd finished up that portrait, one of the gods informed us that Amrut was going on his own little adventure. He seems to have caught the attention of the goats that lived around here, and he'd say he'd won, but I think the goats would say otherwise. Meanwhile, Haraya and Judith explored the city. The various homes seemed to be stuck in a stasis of sorts, as if the people just seemingly disappeared. All their belongings simply frozen in time, untouched for hundreds of years. It was during this time that the two had stumbled on a goat, which Judith decided to gift tongues on. And after everyone met up, Sora would talk with this goat and enlisted as temporary security, much needed. A little bit further on, I'd given everybody a little bit of the gifts down in the treasury. In particular, Judith being 3 of the books regarding the history of 3 locations, of Atlantis, of Zion, the Garden of Zion, and the last of Sunsdale, the place that would eventually become Icarus. While scouring the book on Icarus, Judith had found that the book almost had a soul of its own, and seemingly possessed the soul of one known as Xander, the son of the late King Zergus. Most of his memory seemed to be sealed away and was locked away for hundreds of years. He seemed to believe that only a day had passed, even though time continued to move forward without him. Sometime later, Judith would project a symbol for Minerva to find the place and pick us up. But night had started to fall in the place. Thus, we decided to spend one more day here. Araya, being able to trance and had a little bit of free time on her hands, she went to the throne room to tend with the flowers for some time, but had an unexpected visitor. They tried to seem mysterious, a little bit provoking, and mentioned having this place one day be his, if it wasn't already, before seemingly disappearing just as the god appeared, as if he'd planned everything down to the last second. Araya informed the god of their visitor, and everything was sent to high alert. Everybody awakened, meeting up and trying to trace down where he'd gone. Sora had scoured the state and found the ship Minerva had brought was gone, stolen by the one that we would eventually deduce to be Morgan. Well, we tried to get our groundings with me trying to head down to the treasury to ask Godbrand if they detected anybody else on the estate. Minerva overheard that her ship had been stolen, and in usual Minerva fashion, she decided to grab Judith, who knew the most about Morgan, and dashed off on her broom in order to catch up. They'd managed to catch up within moments and landed on the ship, Morgan expecting everything, and shutting down the ship as it started to fall from the sky, without much reaction coming from him, as if this was all planned. And as the pair of Minerva and Judith faced off against Morgan, they stand on this falling ship, ready to face off. As the camera zooms through the clouds and down on this view of the trio facing each other for the first time, we decide the fate of the three as the battle starts to occur. Off to you, Falcon.
First, you roll your Inspirato 1d2 plus 1. Even if the captains aren't always there, it's nice hearing their perspective if they were or if they were all knowing. It's really just for the fun of the recap.
Hell yeah.
Well, it's enough of this cozy music. It's time to tear up some character shit. I mean, get to the fight. Well, well, well. The time has come at last to teach you a lesson, Bloomy, and your friend here can get some too.
Judith isn't in right now. If you'd like to leave a message, please call back and try again. sorry.
Minerva turns around. She sees that his head was singed from the fireball. She smiles, but eventually her smile becomes a frown. You're not there, are you? As she takes the action to observe to better Bloom's chances, she notices that this is an illusion, which typically takes an investigation and insight to see through. And he never left his original spot, as she informed you, Drew.
Judith is he floating or what is he doing to
He
stay
looks
alive?
like he's stuck to the boat, like he's just magnetized to it or something. He's standing up perfectly still as the ship falls, and Minerva's holding on to the broom.
Got it. I'll say, you know, Morgan, do you know why I haven't taken your offer to join Divination Daily? Because every time I read it, it puts me to sleep, and I will cast sleep at 3rd level on him.
Let's see how much it is.
$47.
47.
Oh,
Nah, that's not good enough.
You see Morgan start to stumble. He drops to his knees. Dude, that's Bloomy. How good you?
What happened?
You see him just drop prone and look like he's knocked out.
Fuck. Fuck. Minerva, we gotta figure out a way to get this boat, get this ship back going again. I will. My action or my movement. Can I make it up to him?
Yeah. I mean, it'd be difficult terrain, and you're gonna risk being flung into the sky if you move away from the broom. Because it's falling, so gravity's gonna do its part. You might get torn into the air.
But I want to make sure that he's not going to fall to his,
So, he's laying there really funny because his boots still look perfectly upright, so he's kind of like at an awkward position.
Okay, got it. Okay, well, if that's the case, then I'm going to, if he's in that awkward position, Judith's going to tell that to Minerva, and then bonus action. Say it with me, everybody. Photographic.
Take a photo like that. All right, cool.
Yep. And then I'll do EOT.
When you finish doing what you're doing, you hear a clap. You see Morgan get back up.
Damn it.
I really had you going, didn't I, Bloomy?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Can we stop this whole whatever you're doing right now, and let's just talk this out?
I don't know. If I get rid of my largest competition, maybe Divination Daily could take first place again.
Divination Daily hasn't been first place in how long has it been? It's been at least 50 years.
He grabs his heart. Oh, power would kill me now.
Just get used to it. It's fine. There's enough stories for everybody.
I wonder what you're going to do without your friend here. We'll find out. And he puts his hands up and he yells the words, Mace! And Minerva disappears. Are you proficient in Arcana?
I don't think so. No, I'm not.
I have no idea what happened, but he cast a very powerful spell. As you could see, energy just kind of wrap around and shoot onto Minerva. She wasn't even entitled to a spell. That's how high level the spell was, which are usually reserved for 8th and 9th levels. Sometimes they remove the saves, but Minerva just literally disappears. And you see he takes his boots and he almost like he's walking in difficult terrain, walks to the other side of you. And he starts yanking on the broom. What are you gonna do when I remove this? He's not able to grab it this turn because he used his action. But you can see his intent is to just pull the broom away from you. And it is your turn. Minerva does get a chance to break out. Maybe she comes back right away. Let me check. Real quick. No, she does not, unfortunately. Oh, you're up, Judith.
Judith is going to holding on to the broom. I'm going to try to back away a little bit. As I do it, I'm saying I'm just going to say, Morgan, what's the point of killing me? If you kill me, then Divination Daily is going to become the top spot on a technicality. It wouldn't be done with your actual effort. Then you would be holding a false trophy. Can't you beat me with your stories alone? What kind of reporter are you?
That's some say nowadays. I've been called a lot of things. Recently, I was even called a simp.
A simp?
Yes. It's something the kids say nowadays. I'm not sure what it means. In any case, that broom of yours is going to be my broom soon.
I'm going to try to pull it back even further if I can.
Yeah, sure.
18, 15, 20, 30.
Are you action dashing or?
No, I mean I was just gonna move the 30 feet. I don't know what my speed is on this broom.
Well, it's just difficult terrain when you're relying on the broom to not get tossed into the air.
Oh, okay. Then no, my action. I'm just using my action to talk to him.
Okay, good. So then you know what? You can give me a persuasion to see if but it'll be a disadvantage because obviously he doesn't really care what you say. But maybe you can get through to him.
Do I use an inspo? Fuck no. Come on, Judith. You got this. Oh no. That is a That's a 17.
17? Okay. He looks at you and he goes, "You really gonna waste your words on me? I made up my mind about you a long time ago. Trust me."
And what was that?
I don't know how. I don't know why. I knew Icarus would get destroyed as long as you were alive. I thought that it already happened and that you died. But here we are. I see you. Not too much after, it's gone again. You are a problem in this world. An infection.
Judith, like, his words that she's saying is just like cutting super deep for her. Like, the vicious mockery is like, is hitting hard. But she's gonna say, "I wasn't even around then. I'm not even old enough to be there for Icarus's fall. You can't blame that on me. It was your fault. You didn't tell anyone about it. You just sat back and let the city fall and gain the profits for it."
I thought it already happened. 50-some years ago, the explosion happened, and that's when I saw you. That was the first time I saw you, and you're telling me you weren't even born? You elves can live for hundreds of years. I didn't check how old you were. I didn't even know you were alive.
I am 50 years old, and my hand starts to crackle with fire, but I clench my fist and keep it intact.
Well, Judy, you're not going to make this easy on me, are you?
No, bring back my friend Minerva and let us go, and we'll figure out, and we'll see you in court about this whole property situation.
I suppose. And you see him, his boots have a shock effect go onto them, and he just gets taken away into the air. See you later! And the ship is falling at fast speed. What are you going to do?
We would have flown on this. I would have seen a little bit how Minerva tried to pilot this, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to fly over there. I assume it's underneath this little canopy thing.
Yeah, it's towards the back, like a wheel would be on a normal ship.
Okay. I'm gonna go over there and grab onto it and just fucking pull it up as hard as I can. Or if there's an engine starts, I don't know. I'm gonna try to figure out how to turn it on and how to just pull it.
Well, I'll let you use your. Do you have a means of teleporting or no?
No.
Okay.
Not unless I get injured.
Because you can actually make it over there, and it's an action to try to drive this thing.
Okay. Then I'll just action dash it and then just try to get. I'll just be closer to the ground, but that's all I can try to do.
Okay. And let's see. Minerva comes back again. Another round passes. Finally. She actually made 4 saves, by the way. She made a few when you guys were talking. This is her 4th save, and she is back. She pops in, but she doesn't have the broom. So the moment she pops in, you see her. She needs to make a shame saving throw, or she gets sucked into the air. 7. You just see her come in. She looks angry, looking around, but then the air immediately just.
Awful. This broom isn't sentient, is it?
It don't look sentient. It's just staying in place. Not a Doctor Strange cape.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna try to control this ship.
Your favorite check, Tinker's Tools.
Tinker's tools. That's just a. Do I just roll a d20 and give my intelligence?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go. I'll use an inspo for this one.
Where's Phoenix when you need her? I know, right?
I know. I'm just gonna. I'll think of. That's all I'll have. Judith will have in her mind as she's there. She's really wishes she had her friend Phoenix with her, and she will grab on and try to work it. So it's this +2. Yep. 16.
It's not too bad. I'm gonna say that you slow it down enough that the crash won't be as rough, but you haven't fixed this thing yet.
Okay.
You can give me 2 more checks or another course of action to try to figure out how to fly the broom. In any case, we don't know what's going on with Minerva, but she's gone.
No, I can do it. I can do it. breathe, breathe, breathe. Block everything of what Morgan had to say out of your mind, and here we go. 17. That wasn't I didn't use an inspo for that, but
right before it hits the ground, like inches above the ground, you get it to what is it called when a boat is no longer peeling over?
capsizing.
Yes, so it's not capsizing anymore. You're able to just kind of regain gravity onto the ship, pull it up just enough, but unfortunately, luckily you're not going to crash, but there's still an unfortunately in there. The ship runs through a series of trees, crushing it, breaking up its wings, and now it kind of slides onto the ground. It's skirting, but it's lost a lot of the momentum since you uprighted it again. But in any case, the impact from the trees send you flying. You're going to take 10d6 damage instead of 20d6 damage. Oh, you halfen the fall.
Okay.
You can roll that, or if you want, I'll roll it for you.
No, you do it, please.
Okay. 10d6 damage.
We're good.
Oh, I rolled low. Oh, yeah. And obviously you're prone, and give me a d4 roll real quick. You're prone and you got 3 levels of exhaustion. Oh, okay. From the injury from the ship.
Damn.
But you lived.
Damn. Yeah. I should have said it before I got. I'll still take the exhaustion, but is it possible that when I hit the ground, I ignited into bright light, and I come back and I use my rune feature?
Yeah, you can use it to reduce the overall damage.
Okay.
So that's what it normally does. When you get hit, it reduces it. So.
Yeah.
But I'll also remove one of the exhaustion since you softened the blow at your rune. Just to. With the condition, you should be back up in no time, hopefully.
What am I doing? Relocate. Equal to twice my level. Okay, so I'll gain 12 hit points back from what I took off. Where's the I'm standing up straight, and I'll look for where's the broom?
So you try looking for the broom, and it's just nowhere to be seen. One of the trees must have clipped it.
I'll just yell out.
Yeah, I mean, you can also skywrite to help people find you.
Yeah, I'll just like, she's busted and bruised, and she'll write here and put it up in the air.
Although it's the middle of the night, can we even see it?
Most can, but since it's on the clouds, depending on how the moon is lit, it might be possible. But for where you guys are, probably not. But I imagine if you're searching for her on ground, you get closer, you might. However, I do have an immediate answer to that question, despite explaining it. After you put the skywrite in the air, eventually, Minerva, you see, remember she's a runeborn. She can fly for a short duration as a fire rune. You see her flying. She luckily didn't fall to her death, and she sees the clouds and she's calling out to you. She didn't see you yet because there's a whole bunch of debris, mess, and gravel and dirt and rocks. Judith, where are you?
I also just what is it? Do I need this to be an object? That's a creature. I just like pull out my radiant gun and I just shoot it in the air.
Oh, Judith! She comes flaming down, scorching across, putting out her fires as she touches the ground, and she grabs you. Are you all right?
Oh, I'm glad you're fine. Oh.
She, you see, she goes from anger to sorrow as a tear runs down her eyes. I almost got you killed.
I'm sorry about your ship.
Fuck this ship. It can be fixed. I almost cost you your life that is more precious than any object.
That's okay. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I wasn't able to keep up with the ship, but after I got flung off, I quickly engaged in my fly speed.
Yeah, that's convenient that you have that, because in my mind I thought I could pilot your ship and be able to save you too, but it didn't work out that way.
Who would have thought that he was even half formidable? He looks like a punk, if you ask me.
Yeah. Everyone thought he was dead, so at least we know he's alive. And I have proof that he is. And I'll look at my photo that I took of him.
And she looks at it. She sees it. Good. Even though your photo looks like we just knocked him out.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if we can use this and say he attacked us and all they see is him just on the floor unconscious.
Yeah, I probably should have done a video. Okay. Is there anything that we should salvage from your ship right now? Something maybe dangerous, or maybe? Oh no, I can't message our friends. I'm out of my higher spell.
Do you have a sending yet, or you don't have that?
I don't have any third level spell.
Oh, you don't have any third level spells, got you. With the message, I thought the cantrip. Minerva looks at you and goes, my broom is around here somewhere, but we're deep in the forest. I don't think it's gonna get stolen. We should focus on getting you back home. And would it be inappropriate to assume that even though you couldn't keep up with the ships or even running in the general direction the whole time?
Of course, with the moon as my guide, I would chase after where I at least saw the direction they were going.
Yeah.
Midway through that run, be speaking to herself. If I get myself lost again, I don't think I have a year to get back.
But as you're running, you could see the symbol in the sky. The piercing moon guiding you. Smoke, torn up trees confirming. But of course, maybe a fear. You did lose Amrud, and it was a miracle. It took so much to bring him back. A powerful resource. Is Judith dead? What are you thinking?
Through this run, I would have at least spent half my key points on Step of the Wind, just trying to get there as fast as possible. With the action to dash and the bonus action to dash, that would be about 135 feet around. Just carving through the jungle, jumping from branch to branch. Combined with just how fast she is, but including the air around her, just kind of like pushing her just a little bit further with each jump. Just wait, Judith. Just wait for me.
Eventually, some of the fires illuminating the dark forest. You could see that Minerva is helping Judith, assuming Judith lets her, because you have exhaustion, you're injured. She was kind of like, fireman or over the neck or whatever.
And you would see Sora just with almost like a dust cloud behind her as she's just running in, and then it comes into like a sliding skid until she lands up next to the two of them. Are you two okay? Oh.
You see Judith, and her whole demeanor, it's almost like her soul has been just taken out of her. Like, she's just, you have a great insight, and you've been around her for a long time. Probably never seen her this deflated and busted and bruised, and she just looks like she's been, like, the tears have been like welling a bit, but she hasn't allowed herself to let them out yet, because she's still lost with Minerva. But when she sees you come around, the dam starts to break a bit. I Sora.
Really? That man gives sideburns a bad name.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, just a couple scrapes and bruises. Yeah.
Hmm. Well, how's it
And
feel to fly in the sky like that?
I liked it much better when we were on the back of the Sky Knights. That was way more fun. This was a different level.
Let me help you up, okay? And she kind of stands up and just offers her hand.
Judith tries to compose herself a little bit, like she doesn't. She can stand on her own feet, and then once she feels you grabbing on, she just lets it happen because she can barely walk herself. Like, yeah, okay, thank you.
No problem. I can carry you if you need me to.
No, it's okay.
All right, just put your arm over here and let us walk back. I believe I know which way I came from.
I mean, I was gonna make a joke about getting lost, but now's not the time.
Listen, we should not make jokes like that.
So while you all are engaging each other and helping your way back, what are we doing back at the City of Tears? Those of you who knew it would be impossible to keep up with the speed of that ship. What are you up to? And I believe, Lewis, you were going to talk to the dragon?
Yeah. Lewis went down to the treasury to try to check in with Godbrand and see if they have any way to analyze if there's anyone that shouldn't be on the estates. Is
Sure.
there?
We'll cover that really quickly, and then we'll go to Aria and Amrit in a second. So when you get down into the treasury, you can start the line of questions, whatever.
Walking down into the treasury, there's just a look of concern across Lewis's face as he stands before Godbrand. Well, looks like you were right about there being an intruder. It seems like that fellow Morgan managed to make his way onto the estate. He made his way out, but I was wondering if you had any way to detect if anybody else was on here.
I know of everyone who traverses these grounds. Though I did not detect this individual, are you sure he was on the facility and not outside it?
Well, he did manage to steal Minerva's ship. That means that something physical would have had to manipulate it.
I did feel the ship lift off. He may have been under a spell, something like non-detection, which would make it far harder for me to track him. Whatever it is, this individual is skilled, sneaky, crafty. Was it an arch-wizard or a druid?
We're not entirely sure. He seems to have connections to divinity-type magic, or divination-type magic. So I wouldn't be too surprised.
As long as it's not the filthy paparazzi.
Well, I guess he's along those lines.
I see. In any case, unfortunately, my power is not unlimited. I am not omnipotent. I merely react and work with my ability to sense the earth that I'm buried in. So any creature that walks, I should be able to tell. But if a creature were to fly and never land, there's another means of me not detecting it. In any case, is everyone safe?
For the most part. Seems like Minerva and Judith went off to try to chase him down. Sora similarly.
Do you think they are enough to stop him?
Honestly, I'm not sure. Knowing men, she most likely found some way to catch up, but still worries me.
I see. Well, hopefully the gold here and your other items among the treasury help balance the scales. You will need to fortify this place. Magic is powerful. Some even call it cheating. Nothing can service as good as an army of people watching your grounds.
I think that's become more evident than ever. Do you know how far we are from Icarus?
Yes. We are about half days flight, 2-3 days march, depending on the speed. Whether you have a horse and cart or if you're on foot, the latter.
Okay. Guess the best bet for now is to try to see if we can recruit anybody that might be able to protect the place while we're gone for now. Until we can find someone more trustworthy.
Individuals are your main concern. This place will be hard to siege by an army due to its location. So if an army were to ever pierce these walls like they did so long ago, there's also a place where you cannot escape.
It'll also make it so all the harder to reclaim it.
Yes. Property taxes.
Yeah, that's also a concern, I guess.
Anything else I can help you with, Lord Newell?
For now, I don't think. And as Lewis is kind of just like letting his mind wander for a while to just like analyze anything that can really be done at this moment, Godbrand would notice, especially just like having absolute domain over this area, that Lewis would put his hand where Tyrandrum's curse is currently at, almost as if his mind is unconsciously thinking about it. I need to get stronger if I'm going to be able to rule this place right. You said that damn dragon used to serve us, right?
Yes.
You think there might be any way that we might be able to get him to cooperate a bit more?
Perhaps. Tyrandrum was always throwing tantrums. Probably a good and better suited name for him. But in any case, our age has passed. Our strengths are limited. In small moments, we can bear down our lost power. It's only in rare moments. You must gather the strength yourself. And only then can you call upon ours.
Good to know. Alright. For the time being, I think that's all I can really think of.
There are 87 goats still on the property. Do not like that number.
I'll keep that in mind. They're somewhat helping security, though, so...
Be careful. If they organize a union, you'll be screwed.
Keeping that in mind, as he just like turns his back and just like waves back at them as he starts to leave the treasury.
When you leave and you open the door, you could see a goat just staring at you, just chomping down on the curtains.
Come on now. This place doesn't have a caretaker yet. Try not to damage it too badly.
He just walks with you. Doesn't really fight you. See, this one's pretty young, actually. Not too young for Emrat to give him his hands or ram, so be careful. We got that one last session. All right.
Yeah, just like that's out of it as he continues
on his path.
So while you were downstairs at the same exact time, so before you surfaced, what have Rhea and Emrat have been up to?
Well, Rhea is a little bit beside herself. She can't go chasing after Sora and Judith, whom she's worried about. And Lewis disappeared into this treasury place that only he can go to. So she's like an elevated level of pacing. So she'll walk to like the doors of the throne room, which I imagine she has propped open, which is probably how the damn goat got in the first place. And she like steps out onto the palisade or whatever's out there, and she's looking over as far as she can see the little village, looking to see if the bodyguard, not bodyguard, troops or whatever, are causing out anything. If there's any commotion, there isn't. She kind of looks up into the sky and she turns around and walks back into the throne room and she walks the whole length of the thing and she's kind of just lost in her own mind as she just repeats that a couple of times until somebody comes in to distract her.
The knights making their rounds would one of them would check on you and ask you, "Should we stand guard, my lady?"
Yeah, don't know what else to do. Hopefully, Noelle will be back soon.
Yeah, one of them just stands next to the other two. Go and look out to find the others. And one of the others, who they're searching for, who they believe to still be on the grounds, is Emrat. Emrat, what are you doing?
What am I doing right now?
Last session, everyone. So the ship was here. So I know you kind of missed some stuff, but Morgan came, talked to Aria, stole the ship. You know, you got that much, I'd imagine.
So
you just came out to the courtyard when everything started going down, but nothing happened in particular.
So about where am I as far as like the grounds?
So all of you are staying in the back in the personal base over here. But we can assume that some of you might have moved out to the courtyard where the ship was still in by now. But it's really up to you.
I'd probably be around there. And as I get down, I look around. Is there any other? Probably not. Did I ever see any type of like way of delivery? Anything with like any kind of flight capability besides the ship?
You can do an investigation now as you search the grounds, or survival if you're looking for like things like footprints and other stuff. What the? You're over here.
No, I didn't mean to do that. I tried to click my character sheet and it dragged.
Oh, gotcha.
There we go.
You look around. If Morgan came alone, it's pretty crazy. But unfortunately, no one has discovered any signs of anyone else being here.
Shit. As he just sees the ship from that distance, he's kind of thinking about what to do to get over there, and then he starts to think about the wings that Terma had. And then he'll try and focus to see if there's anything any similar thing in his own blood, just something that can maybe make this happen.
So while you're focusing, go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw and a history check.
Gotcha. Oh, a saving throw?
Yeah, like your mind, you're trying to pull onto this power as you might pull too dark into the darkness that you would need.
Hey, yo.
You want me to pass its spell? Oh.
I'll look for that one.
Yep.
And then the other one.
Well,
What was the second roll again?
it was history.
Yes, we got
You're
it.
trying to like remember the details of the wings and stuff like that. You know, there were blood, other stuff. So it's early. You know, you've never tried this before. Maybe if you keep at it, you might get it. But when you pull into that darkness, you can feel your veins kind of start to thicken. You can see them on your arm, just bulging everywhere, even around your chest and your neck. It looks like they can pop. Your vessels could just pop right now. And you start to get a headache. And do you push forward or will you release it?
I'll push forward.
So you start to push forward and blood begins to pop all over you, like starting at your around your hand and then on your neck. Vessels begin to pop and you start taking blood. You start taking damage, not blood. You take 10 damage, but you can feel on your back, it's like you're sweating, like you're soaked. Blood is running down like a cape, like a Superman crimson cape is forming on you. But it's about to break. Do you push forward?
Yeah.
So you push forward and the cape begins to split down the middle and it starts forming almost butterfly-like wings, or at least it's really weird, round shaped at the end, and they're massive and expansive. But the blood is really starting to hurt and you take another 15 points of damage. At this point, seeing that it may be possible, so maybe you're encouraged, but you think that the next toll, while you've lost half the blood in your body, you should already be unconscious. Do you push forward?
As far as he knows his friend's in trouble, he'll push forward.
All right, so the wings fully form. You look amazing, but at this point, I need a Constitution saving throw at disadvantage.
You want that inspo?
Sure.
Yep, giving it to you. Good luck, buddy.
Thank you. Here we go.
So your wings fully forming, you feel really good. And you try to take them to fly. Naturally, it's the whole purpose of them, right? But you're unable to fly. You feel your consciousness fade and you would fall prone, but you do not fall unconscious, and the wings just disperse into a pool of blood around you. Your saving throw preventing you from going to 0 and you need to start making death saves. This is the best outcome, where you've lost so much blood in your first attempt doing this insane feat, but you're able to survive. But in your weakened state, you have a point of exhaustion and only a single hit point left. And that's when you hear someone say something to you. Now, Morgan. It's easy to infiltrate this place. So much stuff. So easy. Look at you. He doesn't look like the other goats. I mean, he does look like a goat. You might not think anything because they all look kind of different. But he's a bit darker. And he just stares at you and he just goes, "You know what I am, don't you?"
Amber just looks at him like not even like able to enunciate as you just glares.
I always love this part of the game. You look like you're about to die. I'm a druid. You'll never know who's watching you. And he kicks up some dirt and he runs towards you to ram you. But you're able to muster enough strength to get hit and not fall unconscious, but he thinks, unless you speak or something, he thinks you're going to die now. Otherwise, he'll keep attacking you while you're down. But you're able to tell he missed, but thematically he just kind of knocks you down and thinks he finished you off. Do you say anything? Do you play the part? What's going on next? Because now that you know, of course he has to kill you. You've lost so much blood right now, he's assuming you're dead. But I don't know if that's enough for you to hold your tongue or to say something else snappy.
Amber will pull out his knife and hold it to the goat's neck.
Oh, you got some fight in you. You're a fool. And that's when you hear one of the knights come running in the distance. And the goat, oh, he's like, fuck, I told you my secret. He changes into a bird and he flies off. And the knight comes up to you, one of the animated soldiers, grabs you off the floor as you start losing your consciousness, and he tells you, "Are you okay?"
What the fuck? It'll pass out.
And as you pass out, he just picks you up and walks you back. And eventually, since we have some time with the others, Aria, you would see the knight come, maybe about 10, 15 minutes. At this point, Lewis, you're just walking out with the goat. Aria's in the main center, and this soldier comes in with Amrit. So the two of you see them carrying Amrit.
She will rush forward. What the hell happened?
Yes.
We found him on the grounds, bleeding out in a pool of blood, but we didn't see anything else.
Yeah, lay him here. She's got healing. She will pour half of her healing light into him. So she goes to place her hands on you and notices you're entirely covered in blood. She tries to find a place where her hands won't sink into blood everywhere, but she will pour some light into you.
When you pour the light into him, you can see that his veins look exhausted, like someone almost sucked him dry of all the liquid in his body, blood, water, whatever. But he comes through. And as you come through, you're still really out of it, Emerald. I need you to give me a wisdom saving throw. The DC is low, only 11. But if you fail this saving throw, you will not remember the interaction with the goat.
Ooh, okay.
It's important, but the DC is only 11. It's low. So, good.
Kind of seeing like how out of it Lewis kind of just like taps his face. Hey, come out. Come on, hang in there. Get back to us. And tries to Aaron's excellence.
Okay, get a reroll.
And before you go, Amrut, you can take my last inspiration.
Okay.
Oh,
I knew it.
Yeah, really miss me, huh?
Okay, you come through. You're still weak. You probably don't know the finer details, but all the important information, the direct information, like druid, go, bird, fly away, basic stuff. But you put the puzzle together, missing a few pieces. But Emma, you do come through. Maybe you don't tackle that immediately. Maybe you do. In any case, the floor is yours.
The goat.
I know you've been having a bout with them all day.
No. He's not a goat.
Oh, and she just looks up to Lewis real quick.
wait. He kind of just like thinks for a moment, especially remembering that Morgan is some sort of spellcaster. We're talking about someone that can transform.
I think so.
That explains a lot, actually.
Those things need to be rounded up.
Lewis kind of just like lightly pats on the goat, kind of realizing that it seems like it's not the most intelligent thing.
It's a youngster. I mean, they're all pretty dumb, but this is a youngster, probably middle-aged teen, whatever that would translate in their years. But yeah, not a child, not an adult, somewhere in between.
Keep that thing away from me.
Yeah, reasonable.
Though, I mean, a goat did this much to you, Amrit? I mean, you are hellfire as a child. I have a hard time imagining it got the better of you.
Because it's not a real fucking goat.
I get that, but one-on-one.
Having just like looked at Amrod and knowing him as long as I have with his issues with his powers, does there seem to be like any particular source the blood is coming from, or is it just like spewing out randomly?
It's spewing out from his body. Luckily, there's no open wounds, or he would be dead or still unconscious. But there is one obvious sign that Aria might not be familiar with, but you would be. She might just think there's all the blood and stuff, but he almost looks more pinkish than purple, which is typically a sign of whenever we call them the darkness, looking more like the evil Terma versus Emerald.
Yeah, Aria thinks he just lost so much blood. He's pale for his color.
Yeah, very pale. So you see that pinkish, but it's very faint, and it's quickly returning to purple.
Lewis's eyes just become stern. What the hell did you do while you were alone?
I'm not even sure. I just had to get to her.
Don't worry, I understand the feel. But you can't be putting yourself at risk like this. Not at least with one of us watching you. or at least backing you up.
He just nods. Yeah.
For the time being, try to get some rest. Physician should be around here somewhere. Hopefully he could help patch you up.
Last time you saw him, he was waiting towards the gate, so when the others came back, he could tend to them all the way away from you guys. But speaking of which, while you guys are tending to Amrut, all the way at the gate, still not going to get to you guys for 30, 40 minutes, but the city is not massive, but it's big enough. At the gate, that's when the rest of you are coming up. He sees you, you guys helping Judith. He doesn't really have like a proper injury or wound system, but thematically she's just kind of like sprained ankle, all that other simple stuff. The physician looks out in the distance. Oh, I'm coming right now. And he begins to do like a robotic jog towards Judith halfway down the bridge. Which this bridge, by the way, I'm not sure if the first time you guys walked out or into the kingdom, but this bridge is crazy. It runs almost 100 feet. So it is very powerful. And it's wide.
Wow, that robot has excellent form.
He gets onto Judith and he goes, please, put it down. I'll examine for any immediate injuries, and if there aren't any massive gaping concerns, we'll take her into the facility to properly treat her.
Judith's kind of like, has like a blank face and just kind of is like numb, and she just goes, lets him do whatever.
So he checks you over and makes sure that there's no like immediate concerns, like do we need to spare a massive wound or something like that. And you see that you have general injuries. So he volunteers, since you guys just ran several hundred feet and then walked several hundred feet back, to carry her. He reminds you that he's an automaton and they're pretty strong. So he would just lift her up and be like, no complaints from you, Judith. I will carry you.
Again, just doesn't say it. Doesn't say anything. Just goes,
He doesn't know you well, but typically you have quite a bit to say. So he understands that it's more than just the pain, it's something else. And he would, with the others, carry you in. And around the time you guys have already gotten all the information out of Amrit, the party, for the first time, is back together and fully formed. So as they walk into the main courtroom, or the king's room, I guess, Lewis, Aria, Amrut, Goat, you all see the physician holding a battered and bruised Judith with Sora and Minerva beside him. And go ahead and the three of you give me your initial reactions when you see how badly injured she is. And then we're going to take a 10-minute break.
Maria takes a couple of steps forward that she's going to rush to her, but then realizes the physician is completely capable of healing her up. So instead, she's just, oh, I'm so glad you guys are back.
And Lewis,
seeing how badly bruised and battered Judith is, just like runs up to her immediately, just double checking her form just for any like obvious injury.
All right. So you run up to her, and then Amra, and then when we come back, we'll resolve all this stuff. Amra?
Amra will kind of like limp behind everyone and just see if she's all right. Probably like bandaged up by now.
Yeah, the both of you are in a similar state, except your wounds magically sealed. Hers was more traditional. But as you look upon her, she's pretty badly beaten up, and we're going to come to this fallout or resolve it when we return. See you all in 10 minutes.
Okay. Sounds good.
everybody, welcome back to the game. We pick up with Judith entering and a few of you reacting. Anyone can take the floor at any moment.
As Sora just has a gentle hand on Judith's back as she's being carried, she looks over at Amru. Oh, by Tangle Terra, did someone almost kill you again?
Yeah, apparently Morgan wasn't the only one on the grounds. Someone disguised as a goat.
Oh, so that's why you had the beef all morning.
Seeing Amra in his state, she was already in a considerable amount of emotional pain, but seeing Amrit on death's door as well, and then having Morgan's words still hanging low in her mind, the dam breaks and she just starts to let him out, and she just can't hold it back anymore. I'm sorry.
Why are you apologizing, Judith? You didn't cause all this.
I did and I didn't. Emma, are you okay?
Yeah. Feel like a single gold piece. Still shining. Don't worry about me.
Kind of hard to, friend.
I think I gotta talk to you guys.
Maybe I should go make some soup?
Yeah, sure.
All right. I'm glad you all trust me with this. I've been kind of winging it the last few days. And she just goes marching off to the kitchen like that.
And you've been doing a marvelous job.
She didn't have to say that. Oh, God. I'm going back to bed. He like limps back inside.
If it's okay, Amber, I'd like to. This concerns you too.
Fine.
The physician puts you down and starts working on you while you talk or say whatever you have to say, getting your bones unbroken. And he would tell Rhea, we'll manage the stuff that magic has no effect on. But general wounds you can tend to while I'm shaping up the rest.
Yes, yeah. Let me see what I can do.
He's doing things like popping your shoulder back in place that cure wounds would heal the damage out, but not necessarily fix. He just tends to in that way while Rhea tends to in another. And do you say anything to the rest of them while this is going on, or just quiet?
I was gonna wait for the soup, but I will.
Yes.
Try to grit through the pain as the things are getting put back in the sockets.
Okay. We could assume this is a lengthy procedure, at least a short rest, so the soup won't take too long. Can we get a cooked utensils check from Sora?
Yep, a 13.
Oh, you rolled already, cool. Yeah, I mean, 10 is like an average meal, a decent meal, something that you would eat and enjoy. So anything above that means that slightly above average. And luckily you don't have to compete with Amber like you did yesterday when he was making bacon.
So Sora comes back eventually with a couple bowls. She had made this. It's more of a noodle soup, very close to ramen, but has more of definitely has some veggies and not a whole lot of meat because we don't really have a whole lot of that right now. But it does what the job does, and she sets it down for everybody. All right, so are we to make sure Mr. No Good Bad Sideburns man never comes back here?
I think he's gonna come back regardless, but he You know, a while ago I talked to Phoenix about this, and I'll be honest, I kind of started to believe that it wasn't a big thing. It wasn't something that rang true anymore. But um, when I was a kid, I was told to begin to trance, and when I did, I would see this bright flashing light, searing pain, people screaming. It felt like my own skin was being burnt off, and it was pain, and it terrified me. And it was something that a lot of the older elves, I'll kind of look to Aria and then put my eyes back down, they either didn't understand or it terrified them as well. And people used to, you know, tell me that the problem was with me, and I was going to be a part of something either hurting other people or destroying the world, or who knows, you know, what kids say. But I believed it because they might have made jokes, but I saw the light and I heard the pain and I felt it. And one of the reasons I became a reporter is because I figured if this great calamity was going to come for me no matter what, at least I'd be able to have the chance to warn people ahead of time and make sure as many people were safe than that could be. But my interaction with JP Morgan, which reaffirmed all of those fears. I saw all of you dead. I mean, I told you that. I told you this thing that he showed me. And I think a big reason of that is probably because I was there. I wasn't dead. I was alive. I was there. But all of you were brutally murdered in some way. And I never thought I was really around for the first destruction of Icarus, but I was definitely around for this most recent one. But Lewis, when was the destruction of Icarus?
About 50 years ago now.
She kind of puts her, like, scrunches her head down a little bit, and yeah, I didn't. I'm only 50 years old. Maybe I think I might have had something to do with it. I think I'm gonna do it again. Phoenix might have been a part of it, but I was like the bringer of it the second time. I'm so sorry. I don't want anyone else to get hurt. I don't want anyone to die.
Lewis stands up and walks toward Judith. He slowly places a hand on her head, and without facing her, almost like his side facing her, and just looking straight forward. No will in your fault, kid.
How do you know?
Simple. I don't believe in freaking fate. Where were you when it happened?
I was probably being bored, Lewis.
To my knowledge, You were simply minding your own business. There's no way in hell that someone that wasn't even close to the event could have been the damn cause of it. Understand? The only way that something can happen is if somebody else does something that causes it. Simply existing is not an action.
I can see it now. I can look back and I can see the look in my mother's eyes, in my father's, in the other elven kids. That's why I had to leave, but they knew. I think they knew.
My darling, I'd like to ask you a question. And it's going to be personal, but I hope you'll trust me. Do you know much about either one of your parents' lives? What they did? Maybe something traumatic that happened to them?
No, I don't know if anything epically bad happened compared to most things. My
Did
mother was beautiful and the kindest person I've ever been around. It wasn't until I started transiting and seeing these images that I could tell that just that a fear of alone drew her away from me.
did either of them fight Malthus like you guys do?
I don't know. I left when I was about 30. I ran away from home. I don't know if they did or not.
I'm not going to assume to know your parents. I have known a fair few mothers in my life. Judith, I don't think her look was one of fear of you. I don't think you did any of this stuff that your mind is playing tricks on you. I think there was something else deeper.
It's a pretty big mind fuck if it's been happening for 30 years or for 25 years. It's a pretty big mind fuck, don't you think? Don't you think there's something in that?
Yeah, there is, but excuse me. She's gonna get up and go to the physician and like stand real close and put her mouth right next to his ear and ask him if he'll go with her
Where?
to another room.
Understood. Sorry, I tend to be very precise. I'm just built that way. And he takes you to a room, walks inside and closes the door.
Just going to talk in hushed tones. In all of your great learning, have you ever heard of something called Darkling disease?
He sits there for a moment. He starts scratching his metallic chin. Yes, Darkling disease. This sounds like a case-for-case situation. But just to compare notes, what do you know of Darkling disease?
That's what I'm afraid I don't know a whole lot. I just know that it has something to do with Malthus killing people and their offspring, but I was hoping you knew something about how to cure it or a test for it.
For the longest time, people assumed that it was mostly death. And by death is certainly an avenue to contract this disease, as it's called. Though it's not a conventional disease, it's more magical in nature. But even when you go out there to destroy someone like the Hollow King, his aura spews for miles. And just living in that aura for too long could change someone. They won't even know what happened to them. The Darkling disease is almost always placed onto the next generation, lying dormant in the host. So it's possible if Judith's parents had this. Judith has it. They won't necessarily have had to fight about it, but that is the most common way of getting it.
Understandable. She is already under so much stress and so much unfounded guilt. I don't want to bring this onto her. I wish there was a way we could test her to see if it's something she's suffering from.
I'll have to go back to Mother to get the information. You see, Clamdor was already studying this. He believed Phoenix to have darkening disease.
That is interesting. Two people with the same thing grouped up together like this?
It's typically people who do great things that carry the heaviest of weights.
I thank you very much for your information and your knowledge. Please, I know it goes without saying, but I just must. This needs to be stayed as confidential as possible. The fewer people that know about it, the better.
Especially if we're wrong, we wouldn't want the conclusions to be jumped to. And of course,
Exactly.
as a medical professional, I will never tell anyone anything until it is absolutely certain. Otherwise, it'll incur unnecessary panic.
I appreciate it. We will have to find an excuse for you to leave, but I'm afraid we don't have an airship anyway. Oh my.
Yes, it will take some time. We do have a second airship on Mother, but we got to get to Mother first, I suppose.
I don't have any way to contact anybody other than Minerva.
This is troubling, but I'm sure Minerva will be able to figure out something fast enough.
I'm sure she will. Thank you. And then she will back towards everybody else.
All right, and are the rest of you doing anything else? You know, the soup was dispersed at this point. I'd imagine everybody's eating soup and whatnot.
Eventually, Sora's sitting cross-legged on the table looking at Judith. Did you enjoy your soup?
I haven't even. Here, yeah, I'll try it.
Maybe a bit cold now.
She'll take her first sip.
It's passable. Not like perfect, but it's good for what it is.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you, Sora.
You've been holding on to such a burden for so long. Thank you for sharing it with me.
When you look at Judith, it's almost like she's not there when you're talking to her. She doesn't hear those final words. Judith, in your mind, sending spells activates. You hear, "Are you there, Bloomy? Let me know if you're alive. I was thinking about what you said, and if it's not too late, a parlay may be in order." Yeah, 26, I want to say, or is it 21 character response?
25.
25, there it is. You got say maximum 25 words, or you can say one word or two words, like fuck off, but it's in your ball, in your court.
You're just gonna say, try to compose her internal voice and say, sure. No more tricks. Stop hurting my friends.
Tomorrow then. Come alone.
She just closes her eyes and lets out a big breath of letting as much emotion that she has just kind of seal it all back down, try to regain her own self. And then she opens her eyes and says, "He's coming back tomorrow."
You just see Sora looking at you calmly, and when you kind of gain consciousness again, her palm is just resting comfortingly against your knee, and is just looking at you with just a smile for right now.
that now he wants to talk. I'm just supposed to bring myself to go alone.
What do you want to do? We will do whatever you want us to.
I don't know.
How about you sleep on it?
Yeah, I guess you'll probably come in the morning, but yeah. I think I'll just talk to him. I just needed a night's sleep to get back to my usual zipper self, you know?
Do you want someone to watch over you?
She pauses for a second and starts to glance towards Amra, but she keeps hold and then brings it all together. She goes, no. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Thank you.
Zora looks at you for a second, looking to Amaru, but she nods. Of course.
That's a 15. That's a 15.
Is that for me or for Amaru?
No, that's just in general of what she was saying.
Gotcha. Alright, well, I'll at least walk you to bed. Come along, Judith.
Alright.
If Adia comes across you guys as you're going, she'll try to catch up with you a little bit. Judith, my dear, you have been through so much today. I wanted to offer my services. See, I have an ability to ensure a good night's rest, and that keeps you free from nightmares. Is that something you'd be interested in?
Sure. That'd be great, thank you.
It's the least I can do. So let's make the way to your bedroom. Whenever you get comfortable, she is going to place her hand probably on your shoulder and do a purify, which one of its side effects is that it prevents nightmares for you for 7 days.
Whoa!
But
Nice.
you also get the greater restoration, which I think that clears an exhaustion. I'm not quite sure.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
you get 6 points of healing off of it.
Yeah.
But I'm not quite sure. You'll have to say how it affects your character, but you just feel a warmth that comes from where her hand is placed, and it slowly trickles down the interior of your body as if it was clinging to the wall of your muscles on the inside.
Judith is reminded of the hug that her mother used to give her when she was growing up. And she starts to well up again. And she says, thank you. Thank you.
Sleep well, my dear. We'll make sure that you're protected tonight.
And Sora would take Judith to her room. Is there anything you need before I leave here? I think I'm gonna go and try and round up all those goats together, try and make myself useful.
She if you looking at her now, her demeanor is a lot more stern and determined. Even though her eyes have been wiped many times, she just says, "No, I'll be good. Thank you very much."
You got this, Bloom.
I know.
And
Thank you.
she's gonna close that door, and then she's gonna look to the outside and take a deep breath in. All right. Sora, the goat wrangler, coming up. She kind of gets limber, a couple pops going in her spine, and she charges forward, going into the night to try and round up all these damn goats.
Adia half-heartedly says, "You want any help, dear?"
This is personal now. I got this.
Do it for me.
Will do.
All right.
Not being mean to the little one that she offered soup, but she has to. She's unfortunately is gonna have to pick a whole house and put them all in there for now.
Just like this massive booming from all the goats you pile into that house. You put them in like a noble home.
Yep. Sora would not know which house was a noble home, so put it in the biggest one she could find.
Eventually, maybe you gather them all. Give me a survival check. If you track them all down, maybe you miss 1 or 2, maybe you miss 5, maybe you miss 10.
Yeah.
That's a general check. It wasn't excessively difficult. They're not like they're playing hide and seek with you. Even though some of them are in odd places, like you find one of them just on top of a building looking down. He's just pissing off the side of the building.
Hey, get down from here.
And then you gather them all up, and eventually you put them in the house, and all the goats it's just like a loud metal band or something. There's just so much screeching and neighing and all this other stuff.
All right, you settle down, quiet. You listen up. I am not here to fool around. I will slap all of you silly if you do not give me the traitor among you.
They all like just keep talking, and it starts to stink, dude. Some of them are farting, others are doing more than that.
Oh god. I'll deal with this in the morning. She will quickly go outside and just close the door. Oh, this is gonna be horrible in the morning. But this is out. She's done her part, and she's gonna go back to the castle to sleep.
Okay. Any other scenes that are going to take place tonight before I say we wake up, assuming we all do wake up?
What do you mean by that?
Or? Going once?
Yeah, I got one little thing.
Sure. No rush.
With all this stuff that's been going on, and Judith knowing that she's gonna have to face Morgan in the morning, she is going to, and with the help of Aria, she is going to trance. But this time, it's different than she's ever gone in before. Before, she used to go in moved and surrounded by fear of what she was going to see and what was going to happen. This time, she has the fear, but she's forcing herself to fight it, to beat it, that she can be stronger than what this is. And she is going to just fight with everything that she has to face the monster that has been terrorizing her.
Okay. So with Ria's touch, preventing the dreams, and so you're gonna you want to dig deep into your trance?
Yeah. It's like in my mind, I'm seeing Judith. Like Judith is going into her trance, where usually she's there with like I said, afraid and
Yeah.
Not naked, but naked without any kind of defenses. This time,
Sure.
like in her mind, it's like she's going in there in like full plate, like armored out. Like she is going in there with as much like armor and weaponry as she can, to try to face this fear.
You go into your trance, and you find yourself on a bed of stars, and their suns are above you, like you're in outer space. There's several suns, but the world only having one. About 3 of them rotating around you constantly. On this bed of stars, it's like rolling out a red carpet. It goes to a temple floating in the deepest sects of your mind. This massive temple. The doors just begin to slowly open up. And I'm assuming you just keep progressing inside and I'll keep the narrative. As you walk into the temple, it's mostly barren, save for a single altar of some kind and large elven statue standing about 9 to 11 feet tall, flanking the left and right of you of this temple. And when you get to the center of it, towards the altar, the eyes on all the statues light up. Judith Bloom, welcome.
As soon as like these like things start to light up, like she tightens and gets ready to fight whatever it is.
So when you get into this defensive stance, you see their eyes light up, but they don't actually move, nor do their mouths move when they talk. It was like they're communicating with you telepathically. Judith Bloom, welcome to the House of the Trance, to the history of your family.
What? Okay. Well, where is it? Come on, I'm ready for you.
What are you waiting for, Judith?
Why is this different? She's like looking, like almost kind of frantically, like left and right and up and down, just taking in the whole space. Come on, where is it?
And as you try to muster some type of darkness that you're expecting, almost wanting, your dream tries to fabricate the nightmare, but you can just, your body feels that same touch that Aria did earlier. And as this boiling, bubbling creature starts to form and you get ready to fight it, it just dissipates. A reminder of Aria's touch. You are safe here, Judith. Only than here are your descendants, your ancestors, your family, anything pertaining to your history among your elven kind.
You mean I did it? This is I tranced?
This is the first time you've walked these halls. Almost unheard of for elven kind, for an elf to not be able to trance, to gain the knowledge of those who came before them.
Who are you?
I am one of your many people in a long tree of elven lives spanning thousands of years. My name is Aldres.
The name doesn't ring familiar at all to me, right?
No, this is like a 3,000-year-old elf, 4,000-year-old elf. And this is pretty much your family tree before they monetize it in a futuristic environment.
So, look around. Dropping her imaginary, sword and shield, and the armor that she was put herself in just kind of fades away, and she's back in her normal look and attire, and she just has this like big kind of smile with light tears. It's so beautiful here. This
place can be whatever you imagine. When you do not imagine, it will look like this. temple with all of your ancestors in it. But you should know that it is more than just a sleep, a trance, a powerful thing. We can learn of history, skills that we had that you do not possess, as we pass along our powers, great and small.
What do you mean?
They explain to you how you have the knowledge of all of the elves in your family tree. That is truly a crime when someone dies and that tree is lost. And that they can help you learn things. But in order to gain it, you must give. When you give them knowledge, they'll give you knowledge. And essentially, I'm stealing a little bit from one D&D and some other stuff. Whenever you complete a long rest and you do trance, you can replace a skill you know with a different skill. But just one at a time. So you can lose deception and gain insight. Next time you rest, you can get rid of insight and go back to deception. You'll have a single skill that you can move around, lose, and gain. Based on whatever knowledge, which we may not always RP, you gain here.
You said that this holds all of my family.
It does. Perhaps you should turn to another. And then you see the statue closest to the door both light up in their eyes. And they go, Judith, we're sorry for failing you.
Whose voice is that?
Well, you don't recognize it, but it is your mother's voice. Of course, how could you? The statue says, we died a long time ago, before you could even remember us. We had hoped you would trance sooner so that we could tell you when it was appropriate. The people who've looked after you are not your parents. They are your guardians. We had hoped to tell you far sooner. You couldn't reach us. You couldn't speak, see us.
It wasn't my fault. I tried, but every time I did it, all I saw was pain.
It's okay, Judith. We don't care about any of that right now. You're here. We can make it right now. It is not your fault.
Who are you then?
Opposed to the common tongues, your father and mother.
She kind of looks kind of quizzical.
They explain kind of what I've covered about the passage, and they tell you how they died. That they died fighting Mouthers, and that rune warriors are typically the only people that can bear rune warriors, and you know your parents aren't, at least the parents you thought warriors weren't that. It's still only like a 50-50 chance because rune warriors are still rare, but these people gave birth to you and quickly gave you your guardians. They presumably died at some point in the past, maybe 40, 45 years ago.
How did they die?
It would tell you that they went on an expedition into the mouth that feeds.
Do you know why I wasn't able to trance before?
Your mother says, most of our lives we fought against Mouthers. Some of them did unimaginable things to our minds, our souls. They changed us just being in their presence, their aura, sickling disease that they've baned this world, most of which we cannot explain, but it changed us physically, mentally. I'm sure you've had opportunities to experience the horrible nature of many of these Mouthers. And along the way, we think that that darkness prior to your birth had already sunk deep into our bodies at a level that we do not understand.
What were your names?
And they tell you the names, but I won't take this from you. When next we meet or throughout the week, you tell me the names of your parents that they've given to you today, that you would like in your family tree. But they would tell you their names.
Judith doesn't pull out her pen to write it down. So those names will be seared into her mind for forever.
Excellent. And then you see that the temple door opens up. This trance is over. You can see it's every single day of your life from here on forward. Which isn't entirely true. As long as Aria is around, she can stay back. Darkening disease. But as far as they're concerned, you're finally here, so everything's fixed. Everything's fine. Now they can get to know their little girl.
Walking out the door, he just says, he says goodbye to them, and then she turns around to go. She just says, "Thank you, Aria," in her mind, and that'd be it.
When you come out of your trance, only a few hours passed, 4 instead of 8. You feel rested, you feel strong. So you can go about even strenuous activities to achieve a long rest. All of a sudden, so much more of the day and night is accessible to you. So much more can be done. There's so much more to do. Any kids get used to being the first to get up in the morning. Now, speaking of nighttime activities, Imrat. You wake up in the middle of the night. You are bound to your bed. Someone tied you to your bed while you were sleeping. Now, whether they completed tying this, we're going to find out. You can give me a perception check at disadvantage. We're going to see if you are able to wake up in time.
Hey, yo! Let me see. Perception. Oh, there's no advantage.
Yes, disadvantage, so it's a 10. So by the time you wake up, you are bound in rope and a few metal chains. And your room is dark because it's still nighttime. And you can see something in the corner, but they have a cloak on. It's small, just like the goat was. Sitting in a chair across from you, staring at you. It's hard for you to move your head.
And we'll try and like break free. Like it was like pull at the restraints. Like
give me a strength saving throw.
Alrighty. Come on.
It's too tough. Between the rope and the chains, and like a rubber band finally wound.
Who are you?
Everyone forgot about me because all this other more important stuff happened. Pulls the cloak down. She walks over to you. Everyone thinks you're back to normal because you're big now. But I know it's the truth. He jumps up and slaps you.
Oh, what the fuck?
Who
are you, kid?
Don't act like you forgot. You almost killed me the other night.
I don't know what damn thing you're talking about.
Just before you guys went to the Hollow King, I snuck into your room and I started beating on you when you were sleeping. How dare you hit me back? I'm a lady.
What? He's just obscenely like confused.
We had a battle. It spanned through most of the mothership and it ended with that crazy nut of a lady knocking you out right before you were considering whether you were going to kill me or not.
Kid, listen. I don't know you. Whatever beef you got, it's not a thing.
Slap. Ask the questions around here.
What the fuck?
Are you sure you're not that little kid?
What? No, that was... No.
Huh. Give me a persuasion.
All right, let's see. Or how about this? He goes,
That's my kid.
You give me a deception, I'll give you advantage. 'Cause right now she's just can't believe that you're the same person. I knew it. Ha, Phoenix don't got nothing on me.
Listen, it's just every other weekend. Had a rough marriage, okay? Listen, I just want to see my kid, you know?
I can get it. Now that all makes sense here. The case is cracked. Wow. Can we, yeah, let's just not bring up this slapping you in the middle of the night thing, okay?
Sure.
It's not my fault. This is your fault.
Just cut me loose, kid.
All right, but no funny business now. I know I slapped you, but doesn't mean you get to slap me. And she undoes the rope, and then she walks to the door where she's pulling this other rope, and she snaps the thing, and you see that the iron bounce quickly, kind of like a measuring tape or something like that, just zips back to her hand. She runs down the hallway laughing. Like a little grin, like, as she runs down the hallway. And despite it being 3 a.m. at that point in time, especially since Judith probably isn't able to really time her trance the very first time, would you stay in your room, Judith, or would you come out to just kind of see the ending of this engagement? You would certainly hear something going on out there.
Yeah, I guess I would kind of wake up and just surprised by everything, and then hear the commotion and think that Morgan's come early. So I'll come out there looking all determined and ready to go.
You see someone peel around the corner. You barely get a glance at them, but you see that Amrit's door is wide open, slowly closing, and there's like rope all over the floor.
I mean, what? And I'll run in. I'll look into Amrit's room.
Amrit, yeah, you just see Judith busting the door next. Maybe you think Polly was making a second round of back, but how do you respond to her?
No. What?
What's going on? You okay? What's happening?
I'm fine.
Is he here?
No.
What's this? What's with this rope? Are you doing some weird kink thing? What's going on?
It's when we catch him, okay?
Okay. All right. Well, if you haven't slept yet, you probably should, because it looks like you probably need some sleep. Your eyes are beginning to look like Lewis's. All right. See you later. And I'll close the door.
Oh, God. All right.
then I'll get back in bed.
And the morning comes around when it comes around. Typically, same time every day, actually.
Quick thing before that.
Sure. Go ahead.
Around an hour into the night, as everyone is starting to settle down, Lewis lays down in his room, just staring at the roof for a while. Hundreds of thoughts going through his mind at the various events that have occurred, of the dangers that have now been brought to light, of various threats that they don't know of, and threats that'll soon come. And the only thought that he can't get out of his mind is that he probably isn't strong enough to face it just yet. while laying down, he lifts up his hand and seems to make a gripping motion as the handle of Sunblight appears. Its black blade shining against the moonlight, and the black and the crimson flames of the fire rune encasing it, almost like a restraint of sorts as they take on the form of chains around this blade. He stares at it, and all he could think to himself is, I'm not strong enough. And as his words ring in his mind, he feels the Arendrum's curse pulsing ever so slightly. And he closes his eyes as he sits up off his bed and gets out. I really hope I don't regret this. And walks down to the treasury to meet with Godbrand.
Well, when you first start getting out of bed, you hear, you're gonna pull your sword out, at least warn a girl. Minerva is laying in the room with you if you forgot.
Fuck. I forgot about that shit. He'd probably still be on the ground then.
Yeah, but it's the glowing sword, wake her up, etc.
Yeah.
She looks down at you, leaning over the side of the bed. What are you doing, Louis?
Sorry. Just wasn't thought is all.
So I'm gonna go back to bed. If you need to talk to people, you don't have to talk to yourself.
There's a slight smirk on his face. I know.
Nah. As you continue what you intended to do, you begin to walk out the room. She tells you, when you come back, you do know this bed is big enough for 2 people. I'm not expecting anything from you. You can at least keep each other warm. He points out the window, and there is a kind of a cold breeze. You guys are on like a high rise in the mountains. The covers are good, but it's still kind of chilly.
We'll see. I'll be back soon.
She's bullshitting you because there's a fire rune born. There's no way she's cold. And she goes back.
Oh yeah, he's fully aware.
You make your way down beneath to Godbrand.
Going down the stairs and eventually to where Godbrand is. He faces them with sheer determination in his eyes. I need to ask you a favor.
Yes.
I'm gonna see what I could do to try to convince him. Probably won't be words.
Who?
Arendrum.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yes,
I'm realizing, seeing all this, that I'm not strong enough to be able to protect this place. To protect everybody here the way I am now. I've been letting him control me for too long. And I can't move forward unless I find some way to deal with this.
If you're not strong enough, you may never return to your body. It may become his.
There's a chance I'm willing to take.
She opens
Something
her
happens to me. I need you to knock me out, so that way I don't cause any more damage. And I'll see whatever I can to try to bring back my senses.
Right now, he has a conduit in you, a physical creature of the living world that he can pull from. I'll do my best to knock you out, but if he gains full control of you, he'll be far stronger than what I remain to be to this day.
Got it.
She opens her mouth and starts to swallow in the air in the room, and Eventually, you just see like a black portal open up. And since she doesn't actually use her mouth to talk, you hear her say this as the ball is floating in her mouth. And here you can become one with your mind space. Be able to enter your own body, much like Tyrandrum is. Be able to service the same area he services. Walk and move around the same way he does. But you do risk losing control entirely. Much like you did before back in the Fairland. Which I'm assuming you two went over all the details and ropes of Tyrandrum and whatnot. Just so you could explain that to you effectively.
Yep.
He's warning you that you do risk him portaling your friends back into this dark plane if you lose, or worst, him going into your body. Since he's been with you every second of your day, and maybe weeks, months before your allies catch on that it's him, because he could just play you up. That's very interesting. Of course, you said you were certain. So, when you enter this black pool, blob, this floating orb of darkness, spear, whatever the hell it is, like a dark sun, you find yourself back in his domain, the place where you guys traversed that time in the Fairlands. You can even see other creatures flying around, but they don't bother you this time, almost like they're expecting you. And a bone staircase forms from the starting point all the way to Tyrandrum's hoard, his treasures, which now you realize, sadly, isn't a physical, real hoard. It's just memories of the things he once had. All of this realm is not a real plane of existence. It's your mind. Come, boy. At last, give me your soul.
We'll see. As Lewis places his hand on his chest and summons Sunblight.
Sun's blight, sun's light. Destroy my enemies, but endless light. You're stronger, Lewis, but you're no match for me. You see him rise up, his bones collecting until he's got that 25% form, and he starts advancing upon you until he's in a full flight towards you. He's about 90 feet away, but he can move that fast and around. He's gaining quickly. What do you do?
Lewis, staring down Tyrandrum once again, stands there with the blade in hand. As his shield slowly starts to materialize, all of his equipment, he stands with one hand facing Tyrandrum, his eye focused entirely on him alone. But his mind seems to almost wander as the surrounding area the surrounding void around him seems to just shift into various visions of various memories of that voice echoing of every conversation with the Tangled and every argument until that day. Every memory that was ever twisted by Tyrandrum and every negative thought that he ever thought. But he opens his eye and does everything he can to block it out as he stands true and raises his shield.
And Tyrandrum glides into you, onto the shield. An explosion of shadowy energy erupts. The entire room, the gold coins fling into the air. The ground collapses and you guys fall into this abyss. A claw rakes across your chest. Just blood spewing everywhere onto Tyrandrum on his white, dirty bones. Two of you just continue until you disappear. And I will Discord DM you whether you're still Lewis or whether you are an almost perfectly portrayed Lewis by Tyrandrum.
Got it.
But for the rest of the information we're going to gain, this is where it ends. In any case, your curse progression is now from 7% to 70%. With that said, as I said before, sun rises, just another morning. I already smell Sora cooking. Or is it Amaret? Who knows? Oof. Let's pray it's Amaret.
Oof.
Well, so 10's an average meal. So this is just kind of like an average meal that you enjoy. This is like you go to your favorite spot and it wasn't as good as last time, but it's still not bad.
Sorry, I burnt the waffles this time.
It's fine.
So, managed to round up all the goats. At least the ones I'm sure I found. If your druid stalker Amrut is still a goat, he is with all the rest of them in the one house I decided to put them all in.
Great, yeah.
Be warned, it may be a disaster in there.
I don't want to know what that means.
Oh, you will soon.
And I'll get to eating the waffles.
Judith will walk in and say, it smells like burnt waffles. Let me try some.
And yeah, she will make you a plate. We're gonna definitely need to get more groceries at some point.
She will eat the waffles and she's like walking on a cloud nine. She's like, you know what? This is really good. Thank you very much, Sora. This is great.
I always try and provide when I can.
Yeah.
So do you need us to go with you today?
Oh, no, he said to come alone, so I'll do that.
All right.
I mean,
Wait. Why?
Oh, because he's a coward. That's probably why.
No, but why are you going alone?
Oh no.
Because this snake in human clothing asked you nicely?
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't really think about it.
I'm going.
Are you sure? Are you feeling up? Are you feeling okay? Are you feeling up to it?
I'll be fine.
He's like a dad sitting down. He's like standing up.
All right.
Wait. You hear like a bunch of like cracks.
Oh. Yeah, let's go.
I'm not really sure exactly where he's meeting. He kind of left all that stuff out. So I'm just going to say, I'm going to give him, I look at my watch. That's not really a fake watch. And so, I'll give him a couple hours. And then if he doesn't show up, then he doesn't show up and we can go about our business. I'm not trying to spend my day orbiting around him. So.
Besides, Amrut, how about you come and help me see if your druid friend is among the goats?
Oh, you met a druid friend.
Yep.
Oh,
Long
okay.
story.
I hope you have nose plugs, Judith.
Nose plugs?
Or at least have a way of protecting your nose.
Are we going?
Luckily, I don't have one.
You said it.
It's canon. It's fine.
No.
Finally determined.
Oh, no. Oh. Does she smell anything?
Doesn't
She
like-
doesn't.
Just a bad
Excellent.
angle. Just a bad angle.
I just thought she breathed through her mouth. That's all.
Yeah, if we get a knife, maybe we can Voldemort you.
No,
That was crazy.
I just have a very small nose. Okay.
Yeah.
Super
Got it.
fast.
So we're going around the goats. Is that right?
Yeah.
Even approaching the building, I think we can smell it. Right, Falcon?
Yeah, for sure. Like 80 goats in one building. They're all shitting and pooping and jumping around.
All right. I suppose we just look out for the one that's looking like it's not dying, or at least the one that hates the smell of other goats this much.
Or we could just leave it all here and leave.
But no, not all the ghosts deserve to starve and die. We have to figure this out, Amrut. And she will go up, and she will open the door.
You see a slaughter. All the furniture is dead, but all the goats are fine.
Whoa. Well, maybe we can offer this house this discount to someone. All right. Let's see. Let's see how many of which one of them. Ugh, maybe this was a bad idea.
It is.
I was just
It
trying to be
was.
helpful.
And it is.
All right, let's filter the goats out. Out. Timeout's over.
He's looking around.
I said out, and she kind of just pats him on the butt, like, go.
Yeah, they start running you out, and you're getting like a head count. You know that you locked up about 85 of them yesterday. Yeah. All 85 are still there. The place, it's like a barnyard now.
Well, your druid friend is not in the city still, I think. Because I think he would have died by the smell of this place.
In the back of the house, you see this pile of goop. Brown goat. This last goat that comes out slowly, number 86. He walks past you with doodle all over his body.
Oh. Wow, that one had a rough night. She's going to get Amrut and Judith outside, slam the door, and take a paintbrush and make a big yellow X over the door. Alright. No one shall ever go inside here ever again.
It's better that way.
That does not solve where this stalker druid man is. You'd think a person who could turn into animals would be cool.
You would, yeah. Maybe we should, I don't know, look for JP Morgan or
Fine.
Judith is gonna walk over. She's just kind of. You guys are doing your goat thing, and so she's just gonna walk over next to the waterfall to get a good view. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I guess to the bridge around the north side of it. I guess.
So, I try to stress that even though this isn't a massive place, it's probably bigger than you think. If you, for example, zoom in on the map, you could see that your kingdom doesn't stop in this immediate area. There is a section here, an entire section, and then look at this castle keep right here. It's this little edge on the cliff. Now, maybe you spotted that one. You definitely didn't spot this one, which is the same exact kind of building, but tucked down here. And then, of course, it crawls back here and likely circles around a tiny bit. This is the bulk of it, of course. So when you walk to the northern sect, to where the waterfall is pouring, do you tell them to look other places? Or, because I'm assuming they're just going to be trailing you since they're worried.
Oh. No.
The rest of you-
If If they want to come with me, but I don't know how much they're doing the goat thing. So
Yeah, so they're doing the goat. So would you have just left when they started counting the goats out, or?
yeah.
Sure. Okay. So the rest of you are counting the goats. When you look up, Judith's just gone. I'm sure you would start looking for her, or at least maybe you let her do her thing. But in any case, you do start. If you are trying to search for her, you can make an investigation check at disadvantage since this place is so big. And well, Judith, you head to the north bridge. The water pours out, where you were sended a whisper to meet him. And upon arriving, it doesn't take you long. Find him. He's sitting on a very similar to how the front looks over here with these rocks. There's just a massive boulder, and he's sitting on it, and he's throwing rocks into the water. He's got a nice pile of them, about 15, 20 smooth rocks. Ah, Bloomy. Are your friends around the corner going to jump me?
Yes, they are. Good morning, Morgan. How you doing?
He gets
Looking
up.
fresh enough, I see.
He gets up and starts running.
Hey, where are you running?
He looks around for your friends.
Do you see any other people walking around here? No. Sit down. Let's talk. Let's talk.
Ah, I was just joking, of course. Haha. And he grabs a smooth stone and tosses it at your feet. Ever skipped rocks on the water before?
The Fairland next to the Fairlands is more of like rivers and stuff, right?
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Yeah, not particularly, but I've done a little bit.
Check this out. He skips it on the rock and it goes about 8 times. Think you can have yours skip 9 times? Doubtful.
Only one way to find out. I'll try to skip it 9 times.
About a skill check, so you can use like a sleight of hand or something. Be very particular with your hands.
Let's see. All I have is acrobatics and thieves' tools, and stealth. I'll use sleight of hand, sure. That's okay. I'll use sleight of hand, and I'm gonna use my last session inspo for this because I like to use inspo on petty shit.
I mean, he scripted out a whole book, so he gets it.
There we go.
Really good. I was actually having every 2 knots above a 10 be a skip, so you actually did exactly the same as him. 20 would have been 9. You get an 18, your rock skips 8 times. Huh.
Oh.
Beginner's luck.
Look at that. So what's the deal? I'm sure you didn't bring me out here just to skip rocks.
Actually, I thought about what you said, that we should probably get to know each other. I'm going to jump to some conclusions. In my mind, you were an atomic threat to Icarus. City I love. Sure, the city hasn't always loved me, but it is my home, my business, my friends, my luxuries. And ever since I had that vision of you being there, for some reason, it's always you, the city gets destroyed. So I jumped to conclusions, thought maybe you're some type of secret agent or villain. Maybe I've got you wrong. He skips another rock.
I'm not a secret agent. I'm very upfront about who I am and what I stand for. My name is Judith Bloom. I work at Between the Flames, and the truth is the one I care is the only thing I care about above all else. And I'll skip another rock.
Yeah. So you keep saying that, and everyone I know loves him, knows I'm alive, and believes I'm dead. Sometimes, not everything's what it seems. Many good people, many good friends don't even know I still breathe, and others do. But here I am, skipping rocks with you on the side of a waterfall. Even after I dropped you out of the sky in a ship and I thought you died. You're resilient, I'll give you that. Who knows what else you're capable of. This is why I wanted to skip rocks with you. To get to know you, I suppose.
Okay. But for everything that I'll tell you, you have to truthfully answer me. Deal?
Sure, as long as they're of equal value. If I ask you how your day was, I don't want you to ask me for my family history, which is a quite lengthy answer.
What's your family history? How long can it be?
I don't know. I mean, I know my mom and my grandparents. About it. You know, I'm human. I've lived a lot longer than I should have lived.
Yeah, I guess you look. I don't know, maybe about. Just kind of looking. Judith kind of looks at him up and down. How close does he look to Lewis's age?
He's aged so gracefully.
Yeah.
You can do an insight or an investigation or a perception to find details for that.
I'll kind of go up and I'll come up to him and I'll take his hand and I'll look at all the wrinkles in his hands.
Well, he's wearing
And then-
gloves. I don't know if he'd let you take them off because he's still kind of cautious.
Oh, okay. Then I'll just look at his face and look at his like any kind of laugh lines or any kind of frown lines. I'll say, oh, okay, well, I mean, you can't be. Well, I guess what do I get with that? I
He
guess.
looks like he's 50-ish, which I know you're 50, but for humans, you know, he's getting up there now.
Yeah, I mean, you probably can't be more than what is it, like 85? I guess.
He's actually 85.
Oh,
Huh. You're telling me you can look at me and see that I'm 85? I look damn good. Are you crazy? I look like I'm 50 or 40. I don't look 85.
no, you look fine. You look fine. To be honest, I have seen you before. I saw you when you first contacted me. I was able to see something in your mind of you in Icarus, and I saw you back then, and I remember that image. See what I see now, and just kind of average it out.
Yeah, you know, you're pretty cool for someone that tried to kill yesterday.
Well, you wouldn't be the first one to try to kill me,
That's true. A lot of people
and
try to
probably not the
kill me.
last.
So here's the deal. This kingdom, City of Tears, it's on my property. I want to benefit from it somehow because it's not like you can take it off of my property I've been paying for the last 40 years. So there's got to be a middle ground. Or I'm coming for it all.
Well, I guess that would be a discussion that wouldn't involve me per se. I could help parlay it, but
Sure.
I am not the owner of this place.
But
You told me to bring no one. You could I could have brought Lewis, and that would have saved a lot of headache and all this.
I mean, I don't know. This place just sprung up overnight. I didn't know Lewis was the owner. I kind of gathered that much, but I still don't know for certain. But anyways, you asked me a question, so that was just my question for you.
From what I understand, there are large amounts of documents that states this property, this castle, and its owner, and who rightfully owns it. So, I think maybe if you wanted to talk to Lewis, that would be something different. But as of right now, legally, this is his.
Sure, the buildings, the construction, but the property it's laying on is owned by me. It's like he's renting it. Crazy concept. Anyways, you get to ask your next question.
Why didn't you alert the people that something was about to happen in Icarus?
I thought it already passed. During Metal Rain, the explosion happened, and I had gotten the vision a few days prior. It didn't exactly come with a countdown, so I didn't think it'd be so sudden. I was more concerned about petty human stuff. We live so short compared to you elves. I'm sure you have your whole life ahead of you still, but me, mine's almost over. So I lived out my days. I was only 20, 30 back then. Barely big enough to make real decisions.
I've seen humans in their 30s and 40s who can still make decisions. There's something you could have done.
Yeah, but I also owned a few hundred properties. I don't know about the average 20-year-old if they're able to manage that much stuff on their own. But my parents died well before their time. So I'm a young playboy extraordinaire. So much property. A business I'm trying to run that I took over from my parents, even though I'm listed as the founder. It was one of those write-off things. In any case, There's a lot going on. I wasn't your typical man of that age, and my visions weren't always accurate. I could see the future, but sometimes it was a play on the future, and then sometimes it was just fabricated entirely. So, did I want to make the whole city panic? Did I want to publicly be wrong and ruin my business forever? I thought I had time. And when the city was destroyed, I chalked it up that whoever you were dead. To my fucking surprise, I'm over here doing my thing and I see you're alive. And all the fears come draining back. And not 24 hours later, mind you, a single day, the city gets destroyed again.
Hell of a coincidence, I'd say.
Well, shit, I'd say too. And then I find out that the one behind it was traveling in your party, and I don't know shit about your party. I'm wondering who influenced her. Maybe it was you. And I had a chat with your friend too, you should know. But as to what we discussed, that's off the table today.
Why is it off the table?
Privacy reasons, limitations.
All right, well, ask your question.
I had a dozen questions walking up to you, and I suppose one of them was kind of answered. I wanted to know who you are, who you really are. You just learned who I was in my youth. Child. Too much luxury and not enough knowledge to manage it.
I'm someone who's fought for everything that I have. Luckily, I had people around me that believed in me, that wanted me to succeed. And the person that did, at least, yeah. I'm not some weak, flimsy individual that might have been bullied in the past.
And let's keep the subject to you, okay? We're not talking about me right now. Let's keep the subject on you.
That's Judith actually laughed a little bit.
Hey, I'm serious here. I was bullied from as soon as I could walk, probably even before then. And you know what? Maybe it turned me to be some type of scummy salesman. But I like who I am. And I'm not going to change it for anyone.
Well, I was bullied as well. I don't like to think of myself as a scummy salesperson, but I like who I am as well.
So what's the thing with that hot pepper girl? Is that your lady? Is that your kind of thing? You know, the feisty one, the blazing stuff, whatever.
Oh, that's yes, that's Minerva.
Yeah, Minerva there.
Yeah. Good luck. I think she's taken for it. I think she spoke for somebody.
No, I'm not interested in a relationship with her. I just wanted to know what the whole deal between you and her was. You guys came at me, good cop, bad cop, trying to take me down. I was pleasantly surprised you could keep up with the airship. I was just gonna take that thing home, fence it.
To be honest, do you want to just come back to everybody and talk to them?
No. I don't like being outnumbered. That's why I wanted to speak to you privately. Besides, my agents are nearby, but they're not right here. And they're expensive. I'm not trying to pay. There's so much money I'm still pouring out for all this shit I own. It's another reason why if there's cake, I want a piece of it.
What's the true reason why you've faked your death, or you've pretended that you're dead?
I had told some of my colleagues about my vision in preparation to come true from it. Some of them survived. And I knew that if they knew I was alive, they were going to pin it and blame it all on me that I could have prevented it. So, use my death as a guilt. You know, the guy who knew is dead, no point on slandering his name. We don't even have his body. And I just kind of operated my grand wealth from the shadows. And people like my wife who lived and others manage it in the light of day. But I was still working the stuff. You see, I blamed it on me. It wasn't until years later and it happened again that I started blaming it on you. You couldn't say it was my greatest failure. So when I saw you, that all came back like it was a day before the event and I was cleaning up my tie, getting ready to go to the ball with my lady. It's for all of my life to change. It's all your fault in my mind. And that's why I'm talking to you now. May not seem like we're making any real progress, but trust me, I'm learning a lot.
I saw that memory.
Like how you did. How the hell are you seeing people's memories?
I did. And I'll explain what his wife looked like. If I remember correctly, she looked very similar to Judith, right?
Yeah, very
This
similar.
human. And I'll just kind of explain her and how she did look in a complimentary way.
Yeah. Keep your pants on now, all right? That's not why I'm here.
Yeah.
So, where do we go from here? Are we just gonna, you kind of owe me one now. You're gonna try to kill me next, and then we're even? Like, what happens? Because I'll be honest, this property
How
is
do I owe you? You stole the ship. You've been coming after me.
You owe
showing
me a
crazy
beatdown.
visions. You broke in.
All right. We owe a few things to each other, I suppose.
I'd say, if anything, we're even.
All right, we're even. I actually like that. You see, I actually sold over because there's no way we're even. I owe you way more than you owe me. But you know what? That's what I do. It's my trade. Just letting you know. I always let them know one time I got you.
Wait, what do you mean? What else have you done that would constitute you owing me?
I don't know. Dropping you out of the sky in a ship and nearly killing you is a pretty big one. I don't know if we're really even here, but my job is making people think we're even.
I survived.
That's
Things
true.
happen.
So this property thing, it's going to get nasty, right?
Doesn't have to be. We can talk through it.
It doesn't. It's just that even though I own this land, there's a lot of people pulling in my pocket, and they're going to want something. It's not just me. It's shareholders. It's a concept that common people, I won't say peasants, common people are not too familiar with. So a lot of people are going to want a slice of this pie. And if I don't give it to them, they're going to expect it from me. And all of my money is laid out in the properties I own. So I need to start profiting from this land.
Again, Morgan, this is not.
I know.
cannot speak on it.
I'm just warning you of the future. It's not like I can just ignore it now.
No. Whenever you're ready to not have this, your henchmen, your expensive henchmen hiding in the shadows back there. If you want to come in, I'm sure someone can make you some delicious waffles or something.
Who does that?
And we can talk it over.
Who reveals their ultimate technique to somebody? Who does that?
Who does what?
Why would he be like, "Hey, I'm a druid"? Like when he told me that.
Who said this?
The freaking goat I sent in.
You sent in a goat that's a druid?
Yeah, I mean, he told me. He already told you guys. Who does that?
Who is this druid?
One of my agents, one of my many people that work for me. They're useful. They fly around. They can scout. I can't be using my divination magic every hour of the day.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't met that person, but apparently they fucked up my friend. So we're back to you owing me.
No.
Nope, yep.
Your friend fucked himself up.
That is one of. No.
Yeah.
No, I understand. The goat attacked him.
That goat can barely take anyone out, let alone
Did the
train
goat attack him first?
Not before he already hurt himself. He was trying to spout bloody wings. The goat rammed him one time and barely even knocked him over. You're telling me he put him in a hospital and cost him all of his bed? No. He was spouting some type of blood magic. He was deep into it. Listen, I paid these guys for a full report, and they know if I have to use my magic to find out what happened, it's going to cost them. He was in his own deep shit, going down dark villain alley, turning up bloody wings. I don't know. It was freaky. That's what the goat told me. But he saw when he's almost dead, he was going to kill him. I'll be honest with you. I didn't give him orders to kill, though. He just kind of thought that was the case.
I'm sure there must be a mistake from your goat, or maybe he saw something that he didn't exactly know what was going on. Either way, that's something I'll look into when I get back.
All right, last question for me, and then I'm gonna fly on out of here. Actually, should I? Fuck, I guess I already stole your ship. He just hands you the broom.
Yeah. Great. Thanks for the broom.
And the last question?
Minerva's broom. And my last question?
Yeah, I mean, you're the final one.
Wouldn't it be better if you just retired?
Think about it
You
every day.
ever think about that?
Every day. I'm addicted, Judith, to this life. Like you getting your next story. Just it's in me now. It's part of me.
All right. Well, I'm gonna head back. Enjoy your fly away, and I'll talk to you later.
Well, fuck, I gotta walk now. He starts like slowly making his way down the mountain.
Judith watches him for a second and just kind of laughs in her mind a little bit of the interaction. Is kind of dumbfounded, but also it felt great. And she will walk back to the people, to the homies.
I assume at this point in time, all of you are together in some capacity so that everyone can have a moment before we close out here in a little bit. So when Judith gets back to you, and if you want to have your own teams, it's also equally fine. But at some point when Judith does return, you would all have been together. So is there anything you guys would like to do before Judith walks in?
In the morning time, it looks like on the left-hand side of our picture here, the wall that goes around the perimeter, that it's walkable on the top.
Yeah.
She will have left early in the morning and going to walk up on there. Her long blonde hairs and a braid over her shoulder, kind of Elsa style. But feeling the breeze in her hair and in her face. So she's kind of lost in thought because truth is the contract with the university expired like one of the last couple days that they were wherever the hell they were, where the Hollow Kings stole their time. And when we were trying to decide where to go, Aria had said go back to the Fairlands because she needed to turn her report in. And she was thinking like she was done, but she's gotten so attached to these people, and the words that Lewis said to Amrit when Amrit had come in all bloodied, they didn't sit right. There's something else going on there. And she's just thinking in her mind on if she's going to stay, if she's going to leave, where is the best place for her. She doesn't have another one lined up right now. She can stay with these people right now. But God, she hates fighting Mouthers. She doesn't want to do that again. But so she's going to be walking along that perimeter wall for a while, just weighing the options and what needs to be done, what's the best way she can be of service, or if she needs to leave it behind. But she usually is very good at not getting attached to the people that she's with, but these ones are different.
Okay. Anyone doing anything else?
I think me and Sora are just looking for Judith.
Yeah.
Judith!
Judith? I think for a red-haired elf, she was easy to find.
Hey guys.
Oh. You have your little meeting without us.
Yeah, sorry, it just kind of felt right. But
So tell me, when do I get to punch off his sideburns?
well, learned a lot of information, I guess. I could have learned more, but that was good. We should get the others as well to talk to them because it concerns Lewis's newfound property here.
So he's just suddenly cool now?
After nearly trying to kill you? Oh,
Oh dear lord!
The new
Judith kind of
router.
Judith kind of smiles a little bit and thinks about it, and it's not necessarily like she feels confident right now, and it's not because of whatever happened with Morgan. Like all that stuff is like small potatoes versus what the stuff that she had went through and what she kind of saw last night. So she's like, yeah, no. It's fine enough right now. It might get messy later on, but I'm sure it'll work itself out.
Okay.
And
In
then,
any case, go ahead.
oh, we should, let's find the others, and there's a lot of things to talk about, especially things that involve you, Emret.
What?
oh, someone's in trouble again.
Can I just get a break?
Stop getting
Let's
into
go.
trouble. And stop getting caught.
I'm literally just like laying down in bed these days. Like really, not on me.
Well, that sounds like a you problem.
It is, very much is. Yep. Let's go.
You see that the goat covered in the most poop is just following you guys back towards the main keep.
Hey, that one has been following us this entire time. As she's kind of like whispering a bit to Judith. And elbows Amroot, kind of like looking over her shoulder a little bit.
Seeing that goat, I'll say, hey, get the fuck out of here.
The goat begins to collapse on itself and change. And then its first Jack in a Box, its head springs. Boom! I'm just making sure the story checks out. And in the belly of this mechanical goat is Polly quicker.
Polly, you weren't in that house all night, were you?
Just most of it.
Oh, you poor sweet summer child.
How can we live in luxury when we have all those goats stuck in that one house?
Well, there's a rogue druid running around, Polly.
Listen, I'm just making sure your horn friend's story checks out.
What story?
What are you talking about?
Oh, don't hold secrets. I'm trying to kill his son, but I also don't know if I want to kill his son.
Amroot, do you have a son? Wow, huge misunderstanding in the general chat. Anyway.
Come on, guys.
All right, well, we're gonna go talk to everybody, but I guess come along. I don't know.
You may want to take a bath first.
All right, fine. So you guys all get back, and Lewis, last piece of the puzzle. Sure, Rio. Eventually, you're all going to be together. Lewis, last piece of the puzzle. When you get back, well, this is more for everybody else's effect, especially Ria. His diseased-looking thing, the kind of you can see on his neck in the photo. It's wrapped around his entire body. Only his head is not purple. He's more purple than Amrut. He's still in Amrut's position in the party, being the purple guy.
Whoa.
Oh,
Lewis,
what happened to you?
Your rash, it's gotten so bad.
Lewis.
As Lewis eventually meets up with everybody, you would notice that for the most part his body seems to have been encapsulated with the curse, but the small streaks of it that you would see seem to like almost bend around his mouth, and one of the strands reach into his eye with half the sclera black and the other white. And he kind of just like looks at you like there's not much going on. Hey.
Hi, you look awful.
What the hell did you do?
We had a conversation.
And he redecorated your face. That doesn't sound like much of a conversation.
Well, you know, you've met him.
Yeah. One of these days, I hope he comes to like me better.
Yeah,
He's gonna approach and attempt to look into Lewis's eye. Can she discern anything?
So give me an inside disadvantage. Not at the moment. It'd be extremely difficult.
She takes a step back. She doesn't trust this.
Dora is also very on the fence as she will she'll jump up onto like a table and look at him. What was the conversation?
mainly.
How did that go?
Not that well, it looks like.
50-50.
It doesn't look 50-50, Lewis.
Okay, maybe a bit more split, but I can show you I'm doing fine. Strangely enough.
I have never seen it progress like this, and you're saying you're fine.
Trust me, if something was up, then Godbrand would have already taken me out.
Pull your sword out of your chest.
Got it. As he lightly places his hand on his chest as the hilt forms and pulls out the blade.
Well, hold on now. Not exactly what happens.
Oh, okay.
You gotta pull the blade out of your chest. And Shadow Blight has always been dark, but it also has a lot of light in it, kind of showing the constant battle between light and darkness. This blade is a perfect necro. Of like one blade in that freaking Mandalorian show, I forget what it's called.
Darksaber.
Yeah, the Darksaber. It's just a pitch black blade. And then after a while, probably about a whole 10 seconds, more than enough time to see this very obvious difference, would transform into the normal blight that he's supposed to be pulling out of his chest.
Oh.
I mean, maybe,
Seems a little surprised.
yeah, I mean, maybe to probably Lewis, it could also be his infections infecting the blight as well. It's coming from his body.
You know, to be honest, I didn't expect that.
Lewis, maybe you should sit down.
Got it. And just like seats himself in his chair. He seems
Um,
strangely relaxed.
But he is gonna look over to Minerva, trying to read her facial expression.
Concern without a check.
Amber like looks at Lewis, seeing two different things. One, he sees a power darken against his own will. Then he sees him pull this like blade from his chest. The imagery just all together just has like Amber just staring at Lewis across the table.
And at this point, Lewis has literally just placed the blade on the table. Like he's not going to be holding it for all that long.
Okay, well, kind of awkward, I guess, but we'll just move along. Lewis, right? You're okay?
I'm fine.
Okay.
We came to sort of an agreement.
What might that be?
How do I put this? We each have a sort of partial ownership for the time being.
Oh, well, how are we going to know when he's doing something that's not you?
Trust me, you'll know.
What are we supposed to do when that happens?
Just let him do his thing and try not to stop him. I'll do whatever I can to gain back control. But I've done whatever I can to make sure that he won't cause any harm to you. At least mostly. To the best of his extent.
Lydia crosses her arms.
Okay. So I went and talked to JP Morgan this morning. And I'll just go, Judith will just go and lay out like all the things that he said and in detail of everything, except she'll leave the Amrit thing out for now until the very end, and say, this druid friend of yours, Amrit, he is a spy of JP Morgan's. There's probably spies all over this place. They take the forms of different animals as well. So if a mouse that's around here, or one of the goats, might be a spy. Amrit should like look over to Lewis and see his shit going on. And it's like, all right, well, Amrit, they said that you tried to bring out bloody wings. What was this?
Yesterday, I guess.
Why? And what and how? What was it?
It's just something I saw Terma do. The other me. You were in the sky, so...
Did it work?
Hard to say.
Well, hopefully you didn't change colors or anything crazy like that, right? No offense, Lewis.
I'm taken.
Don't know. Blacked out. How did I look?
You were awfully pale.
Sickly pink, I'd imagine. The physician.
A pink?
Slightly.
Is that something that you want to try to do, Amrit?
Listen, you were in danger. It was the only way I can get to you. Didn't want to do it. Didn't want to do anything that bastard can do. But if it's needed, I will.
I appreciate you trying to help me. I really do. But please don't do anything that hurts you or anything that might even bring you closer to even just anything that you don't want to do. You don't have to do that to come after me to save me. You don't have to. It's okay. We made it back. Minerva, thank you. Here's your broom, by the way. JP Morgan gave me that. I'll be okay, Emra. Thank you.
Sure.
Well, this has been eye-opening.
It's been something.
Yeah. Things are not exactly easiest right now.
Not even
No,
sure
I-
what our next step would even be at this point.
Right now, I think there is only one step, and that's to figure out what we're going to be doing here.
That is, but at the same time, Palm is still mounting her assault with Mouthers that are surrounding Icarus. I just want to make sure we don't get caught up in a property debacle and people are gonna die.
His main concern is being able to profit off this place, right?
Yeah.
We'll keep it simple. We'll try to develop this place the best we can, and we'll split a part of the profit over to him. That way, he's at least somewhat satisfied, and we're not going to need to worry about this place as much.
Whatever your deal is, make sure to negotiate lower, because he's going to want to take as much as he can.
That's where you guys come in. I'm not exactly someone that knows what I'm doing when it comes to this type of stuff. All I really know is how to fight and do heavy lifting. But when it comes to a lot of the more mental things, that's going to be something I'm going to need you guys' help with.
You're
Think
kind of like,
best lawyer you can afford from Icarus.
What was that again?
Think you need the best lawyer you can afford from Icarus.
I think so too.
Yeah, we're definitely going to need it.
I'm not sure of what help I can be. This is all very new to me, the concept of owning land, because I come from a place where the land was alive. And there seems to be so much bigger problems than just owning territory with the Mouthers, but if you need me to slap him across the face, I'll be here.
I know before we talked about potentially going back to the Fairlands, and now we're kind of also looking at going to Icarus as well. I don't know. It's hard because the threat is Palm. I don't know what the property has to do with all of this, except to potentially save a safe haven for people from Icarus to go to if things do happen.
Well, if you get the best lawyer you can get, let them worry about it. You just need to get someone in charge of it, and you don't need to worry about this over here anymore.
What's important is that we don't let it interfere with your training. This is a monumental situation. You don't want to lose your property as a physician. But at the same time, Palm isn't going to wait while you resolve this situation. And you need to be up to par, because when she attacks, people will need the City of Tears. They also need you to be properly strong and prepared.
Physician, is there anybody aboard Mother that could take up this role of fighting for this place?
Perhaps. But our hands would be tied with preparing for the assault. Mother would be a crucial point in its defense. What about yourself? Maria, you're familiar with Lewis? You're talented? You could stay.
Her head kind of cocks sideways. I suppose that's an option. She looks at Lewis's curse that is crawling up taking over his whole damn face. You sure you feel alright?
I'm sure.
Wait, you're just gonna ditch us like some ace attorney?
Sorry, players laughing too hard.
We're not that bad, right?
As of before yesterday, I thought y'all were set and ready to go, but then today, between the two of you, I don't know, but I guess I should confess my contract with the Academy has indeed expired. I'm only staying around you guys 'cause, well, I like you. But also, I don't have another job at the moment. So, why not? And besides, the scenery is lovely.
Glad it's two liking.
And if
Yep.
there's anything that we can do to help, I don't know.
I think you're gonna have your hands full with these two, and like both of her hands, her thumbs go out, her thumbs point to Lewis and Everett on either side.
Oh wow, I'm not pointing out as the troublemaker for once.
Lewis rolls his eye.
You've really screwed up, Omrid.
Yep. Favorite pastime.
I don't know, Lewis. I'll leave it up to you. I wouldn't mind staying here and fighting for you if you like. I do have some connections in Icarus that I could call in some favors. And I do have one friend that could help me out if I really got in a bind. I
It's
am
good to
not
have that
made
one
for
friend.
fighting others. I did okay with your guys' assistance, but that is not my calling in life. My calling is to help others live up to their potential. But you'd have to trust me.
Only if you're willing to actually put in the effort to be here.
I know, do I get the second fanciest room?
If you're gonna be managing the place, take whatever damn room you want.
Just don't take the one house with the yellow X on the door, whatever you do.
No, sir, I saw that, and I had my eyes on that house. It was lovely on the inside.
It was. Once.
It ain't now.
Listen, I don't come from a place where we put weight into money or nobility. I didn't know.
No, it's fine. I will miss you guys, though. You guys have something special. I don't know if you recognize that. You guys are willing to put your lives on the line for one another. In my opinion, that's about the only thing that's going to overcome Palm. I've heard stories. She used to be the same way, but I think she's lost that and forgotten it. You guys need to try really hard to not lose that or let other things take over. She looks at Lewis. If you can stick together, y'all will be alright.
We spoke with her once, did you know?
No, I do not.
With our first ghetto gate. She was there. She tried deterring us from closing this gate. And she was scared. She couldn't only... She would only speak about the people she's lost and how she didn't want, and she just wanted to end. And I think that loneliness and sadness has made her think that the only way is for everyone to die. I think one way we can stop this is maybe if we can get to her, we get through that fear and anger, maybe we can save her too.
Sora, you have a beautiful interior. And I am not going to deter you from trying. But please do take some time to get comfortable with the idea. If it doesn't work, what you're going to do then.
You are very kind, Aria. But a lot stakes on this ability that if I can do this. From Oko Boss to Hyperion, If I cannot save them, then I cannot save Palm. So I have to start somewhere.
I may be so bold. I think you've already saved more people than you know.
There's just a couple of dear friends lost in the dark at the moment. Maybe I'll find a way to guide them back home. And I will miss you, Aria. Even if you think I have a filthy mouth.
What?
And she just winks. Just one of the funniest things you've ever said to me. When the Hollow King took you over, the worst you could come up with was that I had a dirty mouth.
Oh, my dear child, I'm sorry. I did not mean any of that. That wasn't me. You know that, right?
It's very funny when I remembered it. That the worst you could come up with was that my mouth was awful.
Intruder alert. Intruder alert.
Oh, God.
Gergen kicks open the door. Wyverns in the sky.
Oh, you've got to be shitting me.
Wait, wyverns?
Wait, wyverns?
Wait.
It doesn't necessarily mean enemies. You know who uses those, right?
When they were
Yeah.
around, basically for the knights, and necessarily you guys would eventually fold outside, just the very least to make sure, because there are plenty of wild wyverns. How do you think they acquired them?
That's true.
Yep.
So when you guys get outside, you can see about 6 wyverns flying. On the back of one of them, a beautiful purple feathered cape. Phoenix.
Oh.
As you all look out, amazement. 6 wyverns flying down, escorting her here. Who told her? We know Morgan talked to her. In any case, maybe they didn't talk much. Maybe he just left the card and the information. That will be our opening next session. We just finished this one. Thank you all for playing.
Oh.
I didn't even know that was gonna happen. I was like, oh, my girl is back. Oh, crap. Can I do her right now?
Yeah, now I'll give you a week now.
Thank you. I need to transition.
Yeah.
Watched old episodes.
This is episode 36 of Phantoms of the Past. Thank you all for viewing. Bye.
Bye.
Out of fear, we kept running, tried to hide away. Can you hear? War is coming, beckoning our fate. This is the day that we stand up. This is the day we fight. We'll take our place, we won't give in. Our victory is in sight. Only a sword in our hand, but we enter the lion's den. We're not waiting for a war.